Ten,
Stand by to take studio.
7, 6,
Stand by
5,
camera 1, mics 1 and 2.
3, 2, 1.
Take studio.
Good afternoon, MCTV, and welcome to yet another packed episode of MCTV. I'm Tim Evans. On today's show, we'll have a look at the recent Highway 642 open house. We'll also go on an urban agricultural class tour and skills regional video Tony and I did. But first, our lead story. Do you want a lake back and lakefront property? Some residents of South Glens are considering relocating after their storm pond overflowed in the streets of the residents' basements last weekend. The town of Moorville worked diligently to resolve the spring runoff issue. South Glens residents weren't the only ones dealing with unwelcome meltwater. As I found out, Cardiff residents also struggled with a local government to resolve their water issues. I went out searching for answers and why this year is especially bad. Unusual weather has taken a toll on residents of South Glens as basements have flooded because of the storm lake overflowing. I talked to residents about how the flooding has affected them and what the town has done about it.
Well, I'm disappointed in the town because I don't think they have done what they needed to or supposed to do. Enough is enough. This is like unnecessary, and now we have probably $30,000 to $50,000 to $100,000 worth of damage in our developed basement.
Claude Valcourt, Director of Public Works for the town of Moorville, told me he wasn't aware the basements were flooding and defended the town's efforts to bring the situation under control.
Nobody's called me, so I haven't heard anybody calling us. So the main message that went to them is for them to ensure that their sump pump was working. Well, first of all, the water I'll say shouldn't be coming in because it didn't get to the point where it would have been coming in through the windows.
South Glens residents weren't the only ones dealing with flooding in their backyards. Lyle Newman also woke up to a flooded yard and basement, and for several days nothing was done about it. Frustrated, he called Sturgeon County.
I am looking for Sturgeon County to help me out. This is, I have no reason why I should be the only one draining water out of the field where everyone else seems to have built up berms back there. And I don't know why I should be paying the cost for this.
Derek Delardo, Senior Transportation Officer for Sturgeon County, says all they could do for Hamlet residents was bring in pumps.
Obviously, nobody wants to get flooded. We're trying to work with them if it's our jurisdiction. A lot of times it's private lands or whatever, so we're doing what we can to help them. Yesterday they showed up. We would like to go in the field, but we're tied by our jurisdiction.
In the end, there's only Mother Nature to blame. For MCTV News in South Glens, this is Tim Evans reporting. MCHS put in a bid for the 2013 Olympics, but the International Olympic Committee said we were too small a town to hold the next Olympics, so we got a miniature version. The MCHS Olympics preliminary rounds start next Wednesday, and to tell us more about what's in store, we have Wolves Olympic Committee head Darcy Owen. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much.
So what is MCHS Olympics?
Well, what we've proposed to do is have what we're going to call the Olympic Challenge at MCHS. Everything likes to get a little bit of an acronym to it, so I'm kind of hoping that we could call it the OC at MCHS, but we'll refer to the Olympic Challenge for now.
All right. So what's the history of the Olympics? I hear it predates the school itself.
Back when Primo was the high school, and I attended Primo way back when, they used to have something called the Primo Olympic Days. And at Primo Olympic Days, you would have a color. So there was, for instance, you had orange, you had red, green, and yellow. And when you entered the school in grade 7, you'd be given a color, and you'd stick with that color throughout your time, because then Primo was grade 7 to grade 12.
Oh, yeah.
It was just a bunch of events that was all taking place, and people could raise points for their color, for their team, and it just brought good competition for the school back then.
Nice. So what events are there in this Olympics?
Well, right now we're working on just a few short, kind of simple ones. Starting next Wednesday, we're going to be asking all the classes, and these classes will be getting their colors right away. Some classes know, some classes don't, to wear a shirt that is predominantly the color of your team. And then the color is also going to represent one of the acronyms for HOWLS, whether it's honor, ownership, welcoming, leadership, or safety.
Okay. So what's required of students for the competitions?
Well, right now we have two. One will be the shirt color ones, and then in about another week's time, we'll be getting students to be doing a poster challenge that's going to be representing the letter of their acronym. So if you're on the welcoming team, you'll do a poster based on that. And there's things coming down the pipe that students will find out right away.
All right, so how are teachers feel about this event?
Mr. Michael and I gave a little talk to the teachers at the last staff meeting, and teachers seem to be receiving it really well. There's quite a few teachers here now that were at Primo, and so they kind of like the idea of it too. And it's the idea behind is to build community, build school spirit, and have some fun.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show today, Mr. Owen, and good luck with the Olympics.
Thank you.
All right. So speaking of high-skilled events, the Skills Canada competition kicked off April 20th with regionals held across the province. Tony Nault and I went to Northern Alberta Institute of Technology to compete in the TV video competition, where we had to make a 1 minute to 1 minute 15 video of the subject entering in the first shot, remaining in the shot thereon in, and exiting on the last shot. Tony and I did well, but unfortunately didn't make it to provincials. We decided to show you the extended version of our video, so here's the fruits of our labors.
Hello? Sir! Sir! Where is everybody? Hey! Where is everybody? Where did you go? Where is everybody? Where are you? Stop it! Where are you? What's happening? Ah!
If the last few days are any indication, the weather here can definitely be unpredictable. To find out how many seasons we'll go through this week, here's our weather team meteorologist, Tony Nault. Tony?
Thanks for having me, Tim. So right now, things are shaping up. The weather's getting warmer. Up in Whitehorse and Yellowknife, we have +4. We got some sun in Yellowknife and some rain and cloud in Whitehorse. Down in Vancouver, we have +14, some sun and clouds. Beautiful weather, double digits down there. Regina in Saskatchewan is flooding a lot right now. Not the best, despite the +2 sunny weather. Winnipeg, we have -2 snow. Not the best down there. Toronto, we got 21 degrees Celsius. That's beautiful weather. Sun and cloud down there. As you can see in Montreal, we have 24, even nicer weather with some sun and cloud as well. Halifax +16 is sun and cloud. Best time of the year right now to be down in the East Coast. St. John's, we have +12 with some sun and cloud. And up in Iqaluit, we have 3 with rain. Now on to the Alberta weather. In Alberta, we have, there's actually a lot of flooding going on in the northwest region, and it's coming down towards Edmonton and Red Deer. So you want to look out for that. It is sunny and cloudy around most of the region, except for Fort McMurray, which is full sun. In high level, we got +10. Fort McMurray, we have 5. Grand Prairie, we have 8, along with Jasper. Banff is at 7. Edmonton is at 11. And Red Deer, Calgary, and Medicine Hat are at 10 degrees. Now let's check out the current conditions. Right now it is 6 degrees outside with relative humidity at 69 degrees. Check out the weather for the rest of the week. So we have sun and clouds all week. Things are getting good. We have a low of +11 at Wednesday today and a high of 23. That is the weather for the week. Back to you, Tim, at the studio.
Thanks, Tony. 4 seasons in less than a week. Growing season is upon us and weather dependent. And a new class has sprung up for the 2013-2014 school year. Teacher Neil Kortash is starting the class to better prepare the students to be semi-self-sufficient by growing and preparing their own homegrown produce. In the class, you'll get to meet local producers and learn how to make your own bacon from pig to potbelly stove. As reporter Rob McIntyre explains, this class is a valuable tool for students who wish to be self-sufficient.
MCHS bringing in a new class for the 2013-2014 school year called Urban Agriculture. This class will teach skills such as gardening, butchering, making your own bacon, and many more. I asked teacher Neil Kortaj what students can expect for this course.
Urban Agriculture is a class that's going to teach students about where their food comes from, essentially, where their food comes from, how to grow their own food, how to cook the foods that we grow, and just generally teach students more about self-sustainability and like I said, growing their own food.
I asked Mr. Kortaj what kind of work these students should be looking for coming into the agriculture class.
It'll be mostly hands-on. We're going to be doing everything from cooking, baking, growing, gardening, building cold frames, greenhouses, canning, preserving. So there's going to be lots of time spent outside, gardening indoors, in the kitchen, cooking and making foods using local ingredients.
I asked him what about the colder seasons, where the weather is unfit for gardening.
In the fall, it gives us great opportunities to forage. There's lots of foraging mushrooms in the fall. Also collecting local fruits, rhubarb, apples, pears, cherries from around the community here. Regardless of which semester, we're going to be doing some gardening indoors as well. So I've got some plants growing upstairs here right now to find out what works and what's going to grow well, and we look to expand that next year and have quite an indoor grow operation as well.
Despite the terrible weather changes we have here in Alberta, the agriculture class can still go on. This has been Robert McIntyre reporting.
Now let's take a look at the upcoming events here at MCHS. Roger Champagne Memorial Bike Trip training rides continue this Sunday. Meet at 10 a.m. sharp in front of the school. See Mr. Bodstein for more info. Pitch-in townwide cleanup is May 8th, weather permitting, of course. Do your part to help make our community a cleaner and safer place to impress visiting relatives. The September hiking trip to Banff National Park is coming. Want to have tea with goats and summit a mountain or two? Meeting is at Monday, May 6th in the Graphics Lab. See Mr. Bodstein for more info. Want to go to Paris in Italy? European Getaway Trip Spring 2014 meeting is this Friday in room 108 at lunch. Contact Mrs. Krulik for more info. MCHS Olympics is kicking off May 29th. Start wearing your team colors on Wednesday this month. Contact one of the Wolves Olympic Committee members, Mr. Owen, Mr. Michael, or your Block 1-2 teacher for more info. Please, for this and all more, and for all other school events, keep connected by watching the daily announcements, logging onto the school's website at www.mchs.gsacred.ab.ca, or following us on Twitter at mchs_wolves, or by searching hashtag MCTV News.
Main Street could look very different in the near future as the town of Morinville and the province of Alberta are planning to install several roundabouts to ease traffic congestion and make driving through town easier for commuters and truckers. We sent reporter Amy Lung to investigate this new infrastructure that promises to change the town for the better and the beautiful.
On the evening of Thursday, April 24th, the town of Morinville hosted a functional planning open house at the Community Cultural Center to allow residents to see the future vision of the 100th Avenue and development of the downtown business core. Among the ideas presented is the eventual creation of roundabouts on major intersections along the roadway as the community continues to grow over the next 3/4 of a century. It is hoped these roundabouts will allow for better traffic flow in the decades to come. However, as town officials explain, there will also be immediate advantages as well.
We know how important it is to get that plan going so that we can have some economic development, because right now there's too much uncertainty with developers who want to develop property along 100th Avenue.
If you want to develop something on a piece of land that you own, you have to get approval from Alberta Transportation, and you have to get approval from the town of Morinville. They each require different things. What has been happening on 100th Avenue is that it's been sort of falling behind. A lot of new investment and redevelopment has been taking place on 100th Street, which doesn't have the same kind of restrictions as 100th Avenue does currently. So we're trying to create an environment where the downtown will start to catch up and redevelop, and so it'll become a place where people want to shop down there, they want to live down there. It'll be a really vibrant place.
Once we get this plan in place, it doesn't mean that roundabouts are going in tomorrow. What it means is that there's certainty for economic development, and somebody can develop a property because they know what the rules are.
Among the over 100 residents who attended the open house, reviews were mixed. Many individuals felt that the roundabouts were not needed in the community and tax dollars could better be spent elsewhere. However, for at least one attendee, the plan is a move in the right direction and ultimately boils down to two things.
Is it an improvement? Yes. Safety? Definitely. They start putting out some traffic lights, or at least some signal lights for pedestrian crossings. Very important. We're lacking some of those right now. Presentation was very good, very knowledgeable people here, and a little bit one-sided on the audience. I think there were more against than for. So those who are against are voicing their opinion. Those who are for are probably just sitting at home waiting for it to happen.
Yes, there will be a period of adjustment, but I believe over time that adjustment will be made, and I think people will see them as normal in a very short period of time.
Once people understand how roundabouts work, for pedestrians, for traffic, it slows traffic down, easier access for pedestrians away from the intersection. It makes things a lot safer, and I think people will accept that, and it'll be good for the town of Morinville.
I think it allows for a street that would be very vibrant. It would be much easier to develop on the street. It will be pedestrian friendly. It will be safer, and I think it's the kind of downtown Main Street that Morinville would be very well served by. I think the Main Street of Morinville has a great deal of potential.
This is Amy Lang reporting for MCTV.
Coming up on the May 8th episode of Morinville's #1 news source, we'll have a look at the one-act plays. We'll also have an exclusive inside look into what the government of Alberta does to prepare for natural disasters and severe emergencies in our province. We'll also have a comedic short from our very own Bo Weatherby. All that and your weather team forecast on our May 8th program. So, Tony, that's our show for today. How's the weather shaping up?
It's double digits all week. Hopefully the snow starts to melt. It's really not liking this weather. Hopefully we can actually get summer on the road.
Maybe we'll stick for one season for once.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. For all of us here at MCTV, I'm Tim Evans.
And I'm Tony Nault.
Have a good one at MCHS. And remember, stay in school, kids, unless you're in grade 12.